Have you ever wondered why the things you desire most never actually make you happy? Why lust feels so urgent in the moment, yet leaves a hollow ache that lingers long after? Carl Jung, one of the most profound minds in psychology, believed that lust is far more dangerous than most of us realize. It is not just a momentary pleasure. It is a debt you pay silently, day after day, to a part of yourself you refuse to see. Lust is not innocent. Every glance, every secret indulgence, every fantasy reflects the parts of your mind you deny: fear, shame, insecurity, and loneliness. And when you use lust to escape these feelings, you don't just hide from them, you feed them. The more you chase desire blindly, the more it shapes your life without your permission. Your choices, your focus, your energy, even the quality of your relationships, they all bend to this unseen force. Think about it. How often do you reach for lust to numb boredom, to escape discomfort, or to fill an emptiness you refuse to confront? That quick fix might feel good in the moment, but Jung warned that indulgence always leaves a hidden cost. It steals a little of your self-awareness, a little of your energy, and slowly builds a life half-lived, where fleeting desire rules instead of conscious choice. The consequences are subtle but relentless. Foggy focus, shallow connections, wasted potential, and a persistent sense of dissatisfaction. Over time, these small compromises compound, creating a life where lust becomes a trap, intense in the moment, but destructive over the long term. Jung taught that only by facing the shadow, the part of yourself you hide, can you experience desire in a way that is real, conscious, and life-giving. Until then, lust enslaves more than it liberates. The uncomfortable truth is this: the cost of lust is always higher than the fleeting pleasure it brings. Every indulgence borrows from your future self, silently shaping your choices, your willpower, and your potential. So ask yourself, what are you really running from when you chase lust? Which part of yourself are you hiding from? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why lust never satisfies, how it secretly controls your mind, and what you can do to reclaim your energy, focus, and true freedom. Once you see it, you'll never look at desire the same way again, and you'll know how to stop giving away your power without even realizing it. Imagine this. You're sitting alone late at night, scrolling through images, videos, and messages that ignite desire. At first, it feels harmless, a small indulgence to escape boredom, stress, or loneliness. You tell yourself it's just for fun, a way to relax after a long day. But over time, you notice something strange. Your focus drifts at work, your energy fades, and you feel restless even when you're doing things you used to enjoy. You can't put your finger on why you're dissatisfied. The truth is staring you in the face. Lust isn't just fleeting pleasure. It's a silent architect of your mind, shaping your priorities, your decisions, and your life in ways you don't see. Carl Jung would call this the influence of the shadow. Every indulgence, every fantasy, every secret desire fuels a hidden part of yourself that you refuse to acknowledge. When you try to escape discomfort through lust, the shadow grows stronger. It whispers, nudges, and ultimately directs your behavior. Suddenly, the choices you think are conscious, what you watch, who you pursue, even how you spend your time, are subtly guided by urges you fail to examine. Here's the key. Lust doesn't just steal moments of clarity. It steals your energy, your focus, and your potential. You might think you're in control, but the momentary satisfaction masks a slow, invisible takeover. Relationships suffer because your attention is fragmented. Ambitions falter because your energy is misdirected. Your emotional world shrinks because lust becomes the currency you spend instead of conscious effort. Jung warned that most people never notice until years of their life have passed in a cycle of chasing desire that never truly fulfills. And it's not just about men. Anyone who ignores the hidden influence of lust is vulnerable. That excitement, that pull, feels natural, but it's a trap. It works by disguising itself as pleasure while quietly reshaping your priorities, weakening your willpower, and silencing the inner voice that knows something deeper is missing. By recognizing this, you can take the first step toward reclaiming yourself. Understanding the psychological cost of lust isn't just theory. It's a tool to regain focus, clarity, and freedom. You can break the cycle, redirect your energy, and stop letting hidden desires dictate your life. You've felt it before. That pull, that craving, that moment where desire seems more urgent than reason. At first, it feels harmless, a distraction, a thrill, a little escape. But here's the truth Jung wants you to see. Lust doesn't just vanish after the moment passes. It lingers, reshaping your mind, your emotions, and your life in ways you barely notice. Think about the last time you gave in without thinking. Did you feel alive afterward, or empty? Lust promises satisfaction, but it quietly steals your attention, your energy, and even your sense of self. You begin to chase highs instead of building depth, distractions instead of achievements, short-term thrills instead of long-term fulfillment. Over time, these choices accumulate, and suddenly you're living a life dictated by desire rather than by conscious intention. The consequences touch every part of your life. Your focus suffers. You can't work, create, or think clearly because your mind is constantly chasing urges. Your relationships suffer. You give pieces of yourself to fleeting encounters, while real connection slips further out of reach. Your potential suffers. You trade the time and energy to grow into someone extraordinary for the momentary escape that lust provides, and most people never realize it until years later, staring at a life that feels incomplete, wondering how they got there. Jung's insight is brutal. Lust is not just a desire, it's a shadow power silently controlling your choices. And the worst part, you think you are in control. You believe that indulgence is harmless, but every time you give in without awareness, you are letting a hidden part of yourself make the rules. That part doesn't care about your dreams, your focus, or your growth. It cares about the next fix, the next distraction, the next escape. The good news is this. Once you see it, you can reclaim your power. You can recognize the patterns, break the cycle, and stop letting lust dictate your life. You can redirect your energy into real growth, real connection, and real fulfillment. But it starts with awareness. And if this is hitting close to home, take a second right now to subscribe. Because every time we uncover truths like this, psychological, brutal, and life-changing insights that most people refuse to see. Stick around and you'll start understanding not just lust, but yourself, at a level few ever do. You've seen it before, the moment of surrender to desire, followed by an empty ache, a sense of dissatisfaction that lingers longer than the thrill itself. Lust is powerful because it promises fulfillment, but delivers the opposite. It seduces you into giving away your energy, your focus, and even your freedom. But here's the truth Carl Jung would insist on. You're not powerless. Lust is only dominant because you've allowed it to go unexamined. Once you recognize it, once you shine a conscious light on it, you can reclaim control. The first step is awareness. You must honestly confront the patterns of your behavior. Take a moment and ask yourself, when do I chase lust? Is it boredom, stress, loneliness, insecurity? Most people never pause to examine why they indulge. They simply react. Jung's psychology teaches us that the shadow, the part of yourself you deny, drives much of this behavior. Lust is often a symptom, not the root. By observing your urges without judgment, you begin to understand the deeper truths they reveal about your psyche. Awareness is the first crack in lust's grip. Next is discipline. Awareness alone isn't enough. Lust thrives on momentum, on repeated surrender. Your mind and body develop patterns over years, neural pathways that respond to stimuli automatically. Breaking them requires conscious effort. Set boundaries, remove triggers, create routines that prioritize growth, and redirect energy into meaningful activity. Physical exercise, focused work, creative projects, and deliberate social interactions can all redirect the restless energy that lust exploits. The goal is not repression, it's transformation. Energy that once fueled fleeting indulgence can now fuel achievement, connection, and real satisfaction. Another key strategy is self-reflection. Keep a journal or create a private space where you track your thoughts, feelings, and impulses. When you notice lust arising, write down what you are feeling, why it might be happening, and what choice serves your highest self. Jung emphasized that the unconscious speaks through symbols, impulses, and desires. By translating lust from an impulsive force into conscious insight, you turn it from a tyrant into a teacher. You discover the parts of yourself that hunger for attention, validation, or avoidance, and you can meet those needs consciously instead of giving them over to desire. Community and accountability are also essential. Humans are social creatures, and lust often flourishes in isolation. Seek friends, mentors, or communities that reinforce discipline, purpose, and reflection. Share your struggles where it's safe. The moment you speak the hidden patterns out loud, their control weakens. Jung understood that the psyche doesn't thrive in secrecy. It thrives in integrated awareness. You cannot fight lust alone if you hide from it. Bringing it into consciousness is liberation. Finally, cultivate a higher purpose. Lust thrives in lives without direction. When you anchor yourself in meaning, whether it's creative mastery, personal growth, building real relationships, or serving something beyond yourself, the pull of momentary desire diminishes. Jung wrote extensively about individuation, the process of becoming the person you were meant to be. Lust loses its power when your energy is aligned with conscious intention. Each time you redirect desire toward purpose, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was previously given away unconsciously. This process is neither quick nor easy. Lust has been shaping your choices for years, and the shadow never surrenders without effort. But with awareness, discipline, reflection, accountability, and purpose, you can break the cycle. You can reclaim the energy that was lost to fleeting thrills and redirect it toward building a life of meaning, power, and real satisfaction. By the end of this journey, you will understand that lust is not an enemy to destroy. It is a force to master. The momentary highs are seductive, but mastery over desire creates freedom, clarity, and the ability to choose life on your terms. Jung's wisdom teaches us that the unconscious is not something to fear. It is something to illuminate. The more conscious you become, the less lust controls you, and the more you control your destiny. So start now. Notice the patterns, challenge the impulses, redirect the energy. This is your life, not a series of fleeting moments dictated by desire, but a trajectory shaped by conscious choice. And if this insight has struck you deeply, take a second to subscribe. Because every week, we break down the truths most people avoid, uncover the hidden forces shaping your life, and give you the tools to reclaim your mind, your energy, and your freedom. Stick around. You're only beginning to see the depths of what lust has been controlling and the power you can regain when you finally confront it. By now, you've seen how lust secretly shapes your life, how it steals focus, drains energy, and subtly directs your choices. You've learned that it's not just a fleeting thrill. It's a shadow force, quietly building patterns that determine the quality of your relationships, your productivity, and your inner world. But here's the final, uncomfortable truth. Knowing this is not enough. Transformation demands action. Ask yourself, how often have you chased desire only to feel emptier afterward? That momentary satisfaction is seductive, but it is a lie. Lust never gives. It only takes. Every indulgence borrows from your future self, from your potential, from the energy you could have used to build something meaningful. Jung warned that ignoring this shadow is a form of self-deception, the unconscious mind using desire to rule your life while you believe you are free. The path to mastery over lust is not about repression. It is about conscious integration. You cannot eliminate desire, but you can transform it. You can acknowledge the shadow without letting it control you. You can recognize the impulses, understand the motivations behind them, and redirect that energy toward growth, creation, and connection. Every moment of self-awareness is a moment where lust loses its power over you. Here's how it works in practice. When desire arises, pause. Observe it without judgment. Ask, what am I really avoiding? What part of myself is trying to speak through this urge? Then choose action aligned with your higher purpose. Redirect energy into work, creative expression, learning, or real connection. Every time you make this choice consciously, you strengthen the part of you that is free, aware, and in control. Over time, this becomes a habit. Lust no longer dominates, you dominate it. Think about the cumulative effect. A single moment of restraint may seem small, but repeated thousands of times, it rewires your brain, strengthens your will, and reshapes your life. This is what Jung meant by individuation, becoming the fullest, most integrated version of yourself. Lust is no longer a tyrant. It is a force you understand, a shadow you have illuminated. You experience desire not as a master, but as a tool, a signal, a teacher. The final lesson is clear. Mastery over lust is mastery over yourself. It is the difference between a life dictated by impulse and a life lived with conscious intention. It is the difference between fleeting highs and lasting fulfillment. And it is available to anyone willing to look honestly at the shadows inside them. If this has resonated with you, take a moment to act. Subscribe now, because every week we uncover truths most people avoid, reveal the forces shaping your life, and give you practical tools to reclaim control over your mind, your energy, and your destiny. Don't just watch. Choose to transform. The awareness you gain today is the power you carry for the rest of your life. Remember this: lust is only dangerous when ignored. When faced consciously, it becomes a guide, not a jailer. The choice is yours, and the life you've been longing for begins the moment you take it back. If you've found these insights valuable and want to help the channel continue creating videos that uncover hidden truths about the mind, desire, and human behavior, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below.